25 years old. Quarter of a century. Got a Man of War, Abomination. Damn, I wanted the one that said Domination. That would have been more appropriate. Because I'm here to dominate the world. I'll conquer it all. All be mine. But today, I just want to sit down and talk. Talk about life. 25 years old. And it's weird, man. I said in a previous video, this has been like the hardest year of my life, mentally at least. And again, it's all relative. Like, my life ain't hard at all compared to what most people in the world have to deal with. But being in your, I guess now, mid-20s, it feels like a weird time. One sec. Let's light this up. Oh yeah, that's good. I'm like, when you think about it, 3 years really into adulthood. Graduate college, 22, and then you're kind of just thrown into the world. But growing up, everything's so easy, so laid out for you, so straightforward. You go to school, you do your work, you get good grades, you go to college, same thing, and everything's just more fun, right? You know what you need to do, you do your work, and then when you're not doing your work, you live. Like, you're so excited to have a day off, to hang out with friends. It doesn't even matter what you're doing. For example, like a few weeks ago, me and my buddy, we had Saturday off, and we both had the whole day off, and we were just miserable and bored all day, and all we could think about was how back when we were kids and we were in high school, we have a Saturday off with nothing to do. We were thrilled. We were ecstatic. It was like we didn't even have to do anything and we had a great time. But things get different as you get older. It's like everything kind of runs its course, and you find less excitement in things. When you're a kid, everything is novel and exciting and adventurous. You just want to explore and be creative, and there's like this fire in you to just be and see things. And like, you see a tree, you just go climb it, or just go like grab the leaves, or it literally doesn't matter as a kid. You just do it all, and it's just all entertaining and fun. And like I said, it makes you feel something like deep down. But as you get older, it's harder. I don't know if that's because of society and maybe like the conditioning of you got to grow up, or if, just as a kid you experience all these things, and it's like a lot of things that you're doing for the first time, and then as you do it more and more and have more exposure, things just get less exciting, you know? But it's a weird phenomenon, and it puts you in a weird place, because then as you grow up, it's like things around you are less exciting, so you either have to just accept that, or you gotta go adventure and have new experiences that still light a fire in you the way that running around a park when you were a kid did. And that's hard, because once you grow up and you're an adult, you have more responsibility. You're supposed to just get a job, go to work, follow a certain path. And the thing is that path wasn't such a bad thing maybe 30, 40 years ago, back when our parents were growing up. especially the generation before them, they really could just go to school, get out of school, go get a regular job, and with that regular job, they could live a very comfortable life. They could get married, have two, three, four kids, and support a whole family just working some regular job with one income, and still have money to even go like on vacations and trips. And that's just not the world we live in anymore. Been going downhill for a while, I feel like. We've been born into. I don't like when people say that they're born in the wrong generation, because it sounds so cliche. Like, don't get me wrong, there are certain things about the generation that we're in that are so good compared to the way that people had it in the past. But man, there's also so much that's so much worse. Our culture, our just the way that we live now. And like I was saying, just the way to provide, and like the state of finances in the world and the economy, and it's so much. Not to mention technology too. Like I said, like there's benefits, and it definitely makes things easier in many ways, but I feel like it's really killed the spirit, man. It's killed the soul, and it's killed the connections that we have with other people, and it's sad. And look, I'm a victim to it. I was thinking about this today. I'm like, I remember back when I was in middle school, like I would just go to school, dude, and I'd be so happy just to be there, because it was stimulating to see people and interact with friends. And again, that plays into the whole being younger thing, and things are just more exciting then. But it's also because I didn't have a phone back then, man. When I was at a place, I was there, I was present all the time. And obviously that's a choice now, right? I don't have to be on my phone, but it's so hard to detach from that, because I feel like when I don't have my phone, I'm missing something. And like that's what a lot of the stuff on our phone is designed to do, to make us feel like we need it. It's not their fault though. It's my responsibility, if I want to change that, right? But it's very hard to break that cycle and try and disconnect when everything in the way we live today relies on being connected on your phone. Always in touch. A good cigar. And then another thing about being in your 20s is, again, now that I'm mid-20s, 25, there is no direction in life. There's nothing that you're supposed to do. And that's something that I've been battling with. It's like you want a sense of purpose and duty, especially as a man, but it's up to you to give that to yourself. Like I said, when you're in school, it's easy, it's laid out. I did very well in school. Always A's. I would get my work done. It gave me like a sense of pride. I'm like, I have this work, I get it done. I feel on top of everything. I feel like I'm being productive. Now, it feels like no matter what jobs I've had or how much I work, I feel like I'm never being productive. I don't feel like it's leading anywhere. Money's cool, but who cares? Like money's never gonna light that fire inside of me that I had when I was a kid. Now it could be a vehicle to allow me to have experiences that do light that fire. So don't get it twisted. Money's, of course, it's important, but it's not even real at the end of the day. It's just something that we all decide has some value for some reason. All you really need to live a happy and fulfilling life, in my opinion, is food, shelter, genuine connections with genuine people and adventure. I think that's the biggest thing that's killed me. Is I said it in one of the songs I just made. Every day this whole year it just feels like it's the same, and we need novelty. We need new experiences. I remember heard this one guy in a podcast, I think. I know, very reliable. He was talking about how when you do the same stuff, like, your mind doesn't retain that memory as well. But if you're doing something new that you've never experienced before, that stimulates your senses in a way that they've never been stimulated, that's something that creates a memory that sticks in your head. And I've always thought, I have a really bad memory, but I think it's just I'm not experiencing enough exciting and novel things for my memory to even care about retaining. Like, what does my memory need to keep memory for of me going to the gym and hitting the bench press for the 12,965th time? Like, who cares? Again, fitness is good. I love fitness. I'm not saying don't do fitness. Don't hit the gym. I think you should hit the gym, but that needs to be incorporated. The fitness needs to be incorporated in a way where it's still exciting to some extent, and there's still purpose and focus behind it. I don't know, man. It's an interesting place I'm at, because it's like, I know what I've been doing day in and day out for the past year isn't what I want. And I think that's always the first step, figuring out what isn't right, because then you know that at least you gotta do something different or nothing's gonna change. So plan on doing something different. I have been very much enjoying making these YouTube videos. I think it really does help with that sense of purpose and direction and creativity too, because up until this year I always thought that I was just an analytical person, right? Always very good at math in school. Never really cared for like reading, writing. I still did good, of course, but I always thought I was like a robot, very analytical, not very emotional either. But I really learned this year, at heart, like, I'm a creative person. Like, I need to be creating. That's what I love to do. Whether it's music, music really lights that fire in me when I hear something that resonates with me and I can just start writing. Or it's something like this on YouTube where I just make videos. Hell, I've always made videos since I was a teenager, even younger. I'd make skits. I'd have my dad and my brother and our friends come act in skits, make like YouTube videos about playing Minecraft, and we would set up bounce houses here in the backyard, and we made our own like wrestling, like WWE federation. I remember when I was younger too, I loved Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon, and I made my own card brand, and I was drawing cards and then laminating them. And I started a club in elementary school. I had friends come over and we would create cards. I still have them all upstairs in my safe. And I don't know why it took me so long to recognize this, but I have to be creating. That's more important to me than anything. I have to be creating, and I have to be authentic, and I have to share these thoughts or images or ideas with the world, regardless of how many people see or how many people listen. It just makes me feel this sense of, oh, like I'm in a flow state. I can make something. And then I share it, and then it's there forever. I'm creating something that's always going to be there and will always exist. It lives beyond just me. And who knows, maybe it resonates with somebody else and they gain some value from it, and that's so cool. Again, back to the internet and the state of the world, that's one thing that's so great about the time that we're living in now, is the ability to connect with all these people all over the world. And like, maybe some video I make here talking about something is seen by a kid across the world that's like 18, 19, 20, around my age or a little younger, and it just resonates with them and it helps them in some way. I don't know how it gets there or what it does for them, but just the idea that that's possible is so cool and something great about the time that we're living in. But as I go into my later 20s, I've decided I need to take more chances. I need to follow my heart. I was watching a video from a guy on YouTube. His name is something Wrangler School. So it's this old guy. He rides horses, but he makes videos basically just sitting in front of the camera, kind of like this, and just talking about his experiences in life and what he recommends. And he was saying, you shouldn't follow your heart. There's 3 things you should do or factor in when you're making these decisions, especially like big decisions in life. Listen to your heart. What is your spirit, your emotion, and your connection to whatever higher power you believe in telling you that you should be doing? Listen to your head, the logic of whether or not it makes sense to make that decision. And then get counsel from other people and listen to the outside perspectives that they give you on that decision. And then factor those in all together. And then make a choice. And I've always been one to decide things very logically, and I'm not going to let go of that. I think that's a very strong ability that I have, to really lay things out and understand the logistics of what I'm going to be doing. But I need to start following my heart more, especially as I've been getting more religious and closer to God and listening to, like I said, just the spirit in me keeps coming back to what's going to light my spirit on fire and make me really feel alive. And I need to start listening to that more, because what's a life where you don't feel that? What's a life where you do the same shit every single day and you just feel like empty and dead inside? What's the point? I would rather take a chance and fail and feel some sense of like bravado, or just putting myself out there, betting on myself. Take that chance than to just settle for a semi-comfortable existence. And then for the counsel, I feel like I've been getting better at asking people for advice, but that's something I've always had a hard time with. But at the same time, I don't know that it is. I feel like I get advice without even asking for it a lot of the time. And it's just hard because a lot of the advice that I get from various people my age, I talk to a lot of people that are older than me. I find I often have an easier time talking to people that are older than me. But a lot of the advice I often get about my life or what I want to do or where I want to go, it often contradicts between people that I talk to and people close in my life whose opinions I should hold more weight in. So it makes it kind of hard. And I think ultimately that just means what it comes down to is listening to my heart more. So if I had to wrap up what 25 years on this planet has taught me up to this point, I think the most important thing that I've learned is life is what you make of it, and you gotta listen to your spirit, because no matter how good things are on paper, if your spirit isn't alive, it just doesn't matter. You'll never feel fulfilled or happy. And I don't think life's necessarily about happiness. It's about growth and development. And I don't think you can grow if you aren't listening to that voice deep down inside. So that's what I'm gonna do. I have a big adventure planned. I think it's gonna be the most transformative experience of my life. And I'm excited to take you all on the journey and show you where it leads me. So if you enjoyed this video, if any of it resonated with you, leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel to follow my journey and see where it takes me. I want to hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. I know it's a big ask. There's only 2 months left, but I feel like I'm really gaining momentum, and I know I can do it. And we'll have even bigger goals for next year. So, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.